Hi, and welcome to the Wayne County Probate Court. This video will guide you in filling out the petition for appointment of Conservator, Form PC 639. Before we get started, this video is not legal advice and is for informational purposes only. You should seek legal counsel for questions specific to your situation. So let's go to the Wayne County Probate Court website to pull up the form, www.wcpc.us. And in the upper middle, you'll see a link called Probate Information. Click on that link. On the left, you'll see how to start a Wayne County probate case. Click that. It brings you to the various case types you can file with the court. We are doing a conservatorship for an adult. When you click on that link, it brings up a lot of great information about the case, how to start it, the forms you need, filing fees, hearing, guardian ad litem, and letters of conservatorship. But we are interested in the form PC 3639. You click on that link. It brings up the form, which you can begin to fill out right on your computer. I have an annotated one to help walk through filling out the form. First thing you want to do in the upper left is type in the county, Wayne. Then in the middle, you could seek a appointment of a conservatorship, which is most likely the case, or a protective order as well. You will click the appropriate box or boxes. Then on the right, if this is your initial petition and there is no active case, you are going to leave the case number and judge blank. Or if there is a case number, you will fill it in. And if there is a judge, you will fill in the judge's name. Don't use this name unless it is the actual judge. You need to use the judge that is assigned to your case. Then you're going to fill in the court address and telephone number. Then moving on to A, in the matter of, you're going to put the name of the person over whom a conservatorship is sought. And then you'll fill in the last 4 digits of that person's social security number on row 2 on form MC97. Very important that you do not put the last 4 of the social on this form because it's public. Anyone will be able to see it. To protect that information, you must use form MC97. And real quick, I highlighted A, B. You'll see there are letters associated with the various sentences of the form. When you scroll down, you'll see a bar that says form instructions. If you click on that, it'll take you over to instructions, and the various letters have additional instructions to the form, which you can use as a supplement to this video to help fill out the form. But going back to A, after you have filled out this information on form MC97, the petitioner's name, most likely that is you or whoever is filling out this petition. You need to put your name, address, and telephone number. If there is an attorney, their information goes here. An attorney is not required to file the petition, in which case you would leave this blank. Moving on to B, this is the petitioner. I, Jane Doe, am interested in this matter and make this petition as. You need to state the relationship you have to the person over whom a conservatorship is sought. Could be a spouse, sister, an aunt, brother, uncle, whatever the relationship you have to the individual, you will put here. Moving on to 2, letter C, the individual was born. You're going to put date of birth on row 1 on form MC97. Do not write it on this form. It will likely be rejected if you put this information on there. So again, date of birth on row 1, form MC97, resides in, you'll put the county, most likely it's Wayne, at, and you'll put the address where they live, the city, state, and zip, and if they have property, you'll put the county in which they own property. Moving on to D3. This may not apply to you, so you won't check this box, but if it does, you will check box 3 and fill in the information. It says an action within the jurisdiction of the family division of circuit court involving the family or family members of the above individual has been previously filed in. You'll put the court, could be Wayne County Circuit Court, case number. You'll type that in, and the judge name. And then you'll have to check whether it remains pending or is no longer pending. So we need to know if a family division court case happened in the past or is currently pending. If this applies to you, check box 3 and fill the information in. If not, leave a blank. E4, the individual has a power of attorney, a guardian, a representative payee for Social Security. If all or any of these are true, you need to check the appropriate box or boxes and then type in the name of each person in the space below. Moving on to number 5, F. We're going to check the appropriate box. A says the individual is an adult unable to manage his or her property and business affairs effectively because you'll check the appropriate box or boxes that apply, or you'll check box B if A does not apply, which says the adult petitioner is mentally competent, but because of age or physical infirmity is unable to manage his or her property and affairs effectively, and recognizing this disability requests appointment of a conservator. Moving on to page 2, but before we do, I highlighted statutory section references on the form, MCL, as well as court rule section references, MCR. And if you highlight the main section and right click, you can search the web, and the very first link is the Michigan legislature. If you click on that link, it brings up the statutory code or section, and you should read this because it is relevant to the petition. Same thing with the Michigan court rules. Don't highlight the whole thing, just the main section reference. And as you can see, it brings up the Michigan court rules on the very first page. And you can find the rule number in the table of contents here. So you'll want to check those out and read them to help keep you informed of the law governing the conservatorship. All right, continuing on to page 2, 5C. If A or B is not applicable, you may need to check box C, which says the individual is a minor who owns money or property that requires management or protection that cannot otherwise be provided, has or may have business affairs that may be jeopardized or prevented by minority, needs money for support in education and protection, is necessary or desirable to obtain or provide money. If this is true, box C in the appropriate box here. Then if A, B, or C is not applicable, you'll check box D, which says I am the guardian of the ward and it is in the ward's best interests to sell or otherwise dispose of the ward's real property or interest in real property. Moving on to G6. The statements in item 5 are supported by the following facts. So you're going to explain the facts that relate to the box checked in item 5. Number 7, H. The individual to be protected has an estate approximately valued at. So if they own real estate, you're going to type in the estimated value here. If they have personal property, you're going to put in the approximate value here. If they have insurance and then a monthly income, that will also be typed in here. Number 8, I. The individual to be protected is receiving the following benefits from governmental agencies. You're going to check the appropriate boxes and type in the amounts that are paid in number 8. Then moving on to number 9, J. The individual to be protected has. These are the people interested in the person over whom a conservatorship is sought. It's very important that you list these people. You're going to check the boxes that apply, whether it's a spouse. If there's no spouse, you won't check that box. If there's children, you'll check this box. Descendants of deceased children, so maybe a child of the proposed of the person over whom a conservatorship is sought had a child that died, but that child had children. If that's true, you're going to check this box, whichever apply. Now note that if there's none of the above, there are presumptive heirs, which you'll have to list. And if there are no presumptive heirs, you need to notify the Attorney General. Then you're going to insert the names of the people who are checked in these boxes. Address of the people, telephone number, the relationship to the person over whom the conservatorship is sought, and the age of the person. Now you'll see there's a little asterisk here that if there's a minor, form MC97A and put the reference number from the form in the box above. So maybe you're putting box 3. I'm not too sure. You'll have to look at form MC97A and whatever the reference number is, you're going to put that up here. But MC97A is different than MC97. And so you may be using 2 separate MC97 forms depending on your situation. But you'll want to fill out the names and addresses and telephone numbers, relationship and age of the people interested in the person over whom the conservatorship is sought. Okay, moving on to page 3. Number 10, letter K. None of the persons named above are under any legal incapacity except if someone above here has a legal incapacity, their name will go here, the type of incapacity they have, and the person who is representing them. So if someone has a guardian over them, you'll put their name here, that they have a guardian, and the person who the name of the guardian here. Number 11, L. The individual is currently found at, you'll type in the location as well as the telephone number of the person over whom the conservatorship is sought. 12, if this applies, you will check the box. It says, it is necessary that a preliminary protective order be entered pending the regular hearing because, and you'll explain why that a preliminary protective order is necessary. Okay, that's the form. Now here is your request. You're going to ask the court to do any number of the following. In N13, appoint, you're going to name and address and telephone number who has priority as, you'll type the priority, as conservator of the estate to be protected. If 14 is applicable, you'll check the box. It says, I request that the court preserve and apply the individual's property pending the appointment of a conservator as follows. If you want this, you'll check the box and then type in how you want to preserve and apply the individual's property. Then P15, if this is true and you want this, check the box. It says enter a protective order that provides, and you want to explain the protective order. And finally, 16, Q, appoint the guardian as special conservator with authority to sell or otherwise dispose of the properties, the wards. The ward is described as the person over whom a guardianship is. The ward's real property or interest in real property. So if that's true and applies to your situation, check box 16. If not, just leave it blank. Most likely, you will just be requesting 13. Then you'll want to read the sentence before you sign. It says, I declare under penalties of perjury that this petition has been examined by me and its contents are true to the best of my knowledge, information, and belief. If that's true, you will date and sign. If e-signatures are acceptable, if there is an attorney involved, they must date and sign as well. Otherwise, the petition will be rejected. If there is no attorney, that is fine. You will just leave it blank. Finally, 17S, if the person over whom a conservatorship is sought desires a specific person to be the conservator, they are entitled to name that person, in which case they will type in the name and then they will date and sign in order to nominate the person named here. That's just the name, address, and telephone number of the nominated conservator should be put in the space here. So that is how you fill out the petition for appointment of conservator. We put this together at the Wayne County Probate Court because we care. Have a great day.